Hi everyone, this is JavaScript Beginner Tutorial Series number 33, and in this video we are going to learn the JavaScript new 3 array method, which is one toStrings, and another one is the JavaScript valueOf method, and another one is the JavaScript fill method. So we are going to explain these 3 methods and how it's work, and we'll be do that practically about it. Okay, now let's start this video right now. Before going to do practical, let's try to understand about the toStrings. So array method toString function, this is basically for toString function. So for that I take an array element which is in variable a, I take some array and there is I take some name. So the toString basically it will be converted this array to a string method like this. You can see this num is, then all of this name is converted in this string method. So this is basically a simple text. So this, for this we have a basic function about it, which is toString function. So for this converting an array to a toString function, this used for the toString function about it. So but remember one thing, when we have converted an array to a toString, then it will be not work for any other array element or function. This will be not work, so it will be converted foreverly as a string method. Okay, here you can see I've opened my Visual Code Studio. I have added the basic setup of my HTML file. So I have to create a JavaScript file on our JS folder. So I'm gonna creating this file, which is toString, and the one is valueOf, and the one is the valueOf. Okay, and the one is the fill function dot js. So I have created this file. Now I need to connect this file or index.html file over there. So I'm gonna connecting this one first of all in our js slash, then we have this toString and valueOf and the fill.js. So I have connected this file. Now you can see this, we have opened this browser into our live server. As you can see, I've already opened. So now we're going to do the practical about it. So let's back to toString and valueOf and fill.js file. So now I'm gonna creating a array, which is I'm gonna creating var a, and here taking square bracket, and inside of this I'm gonna creating some of this string value about it. So I'm gonna adding name, and then okay, I have existed of this outside. So another one I'm gonna add Rabaya, and then I'm gonna putting another name, which is Hassan. Okay, and the last one, which is Bus. So I put it this name. Now I'm just going to terminate it and save this file. Now I'm gonna using that, this is if you want to print this value default, but I don't want to print it right now because I'm gonna using as a, this is basically we have an array. I want to convert it in the toString method. So for that we have a writing method. This is going to take first of all this our variable name and then dot toString. So we need to write here this toString, and then we're going to take a function inside. This is the default inbuilt function. So now we're going to painting this document dot write. So I'm gonna painting this a and save this file. You can see this all of this is a basically array element, and this all value is converted into a string over here. So this is basically when we are going to using that toString method. This will be converted this all of this or array element to a toString method. But when we have created a toString method, we have applied, then if we want to return to the converted in any other thing like valueOf, like number, string, and anything else, but this will be not work because the toString method is the forever. When we converted it, it will be converted forever. There is no changes is available in future. But this is basically work for the printing something when we are going to print some of the array element as a string value. So for that reason we can just do it as a string conversion and we can print it out. Now let's try to this array valueOf function. So valueOf basically the default function, like we take an array element about here, and when we are going to print it this a element, so when we are printing this a, it will be automatically printed out this values. This is a default function, but this is have also a method about for writing this function. This is basic function about the printed about the value, but we have the function about the valueOf. This is basically no need to use about it, so it is default function. You use this valueOf or not use, doesn't matter, it is exist automatically. This value, this all of this string value of this array element, we have some string value, this will be printed automatically as a string value. So this is basically valueOf is work for the default function. Okay, now doing the valueOf is the basic default function. So for that I'm gonna making its comment. So if we make it here a dot value of o must be a capital and then inbuilt function. Now save it. As you can see, it was printed the value. So this is default value, it was printed. But if we want to make, we don't want to provide that value of function using here default function, it will be printed the same because the value is work for the default. When we have some array element or whatever we have, we are going to print it out. So the value will be definitely printed this all over this array element, and everything will be, if it have a text method, this will be converted as string. If they're number, it will be printed as a number, and whatever we have, like whatever object and whatever we have, this will be printed the direct value over there. So this is value. Okay, now let's start to understand the fill function. Basically fill work, so we take an array about it. So the fill function basically work for, if we want to fill this array element, this one, we want to fill this is of this array element particularly, we want to fill some another different name or different of this something we want to fill it. So this will be automatically fill this all of this here when we are using the fill function. Like example, I'm gonna say about this is an, if I have filled this name, so this name will be fill all of this array element here, and we're gonna say that this is the function of this writing for the array element, which is the fill function. This is write it method, that is fill function. So now we're going to do that practically about it. So back to our code studio. Okay, now we're going to use that fill function. So for that I'm gonna providing here, I'm just going to uncomment this line a dot and removing this toString. I'm gonna make it fill, and inside of this I'm gonna writing this new value, which I'm gonna implement this all over this array element. And when we provide the value, this certain value will be printed, this will be set at this all over this array element over here. So I'm gonna set a name which is an if, and save this file. Now you can see this name was this implemented all over this array element, and this is we have the document print. So this a value, it was printed this all over. You can see this all there is, we have four name, and this four name it was printed as a only one name which is printed the fourth time, and this is an if, you can see this printed. So fill basically work to if you want to implement something else, and if you want to replace the name somewhere, what it will be fill work for this all about their element will be implemented. But the fill basically there is basically no work, I didn't to use it anywhere this fill, but this is basically for educational purpose.